Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Pufftastic, but you can call me Puff. So today we're doing a draw with me video, and this time I'm drawing Mika, which is a character that I don't really like that much, that I don't really care about that much, but the reason I'm drawing him is because this is ode art for someone from my Draw This In Your Style that I hosted 6 months ago. I still have one more thing that I need to do, but I am going to do something between that because I kind of want a break. But either way, I did actually quite enjoy doing this, and I don't have all the footage. I'm sorry, because I didn't originally plan on making this a draw with me, so I only recorded bits of it, but have quite a bit of the shading towards the end of the video. But you can see right now that I am working on the eyes, and I tried something slightly new this time, not completely new, but I tried adding a bit more detail than I usually do into the eyes, and I tried going around with a lighter outline around the outside of like the pupil, between the whites and the pupil. Because I did that with Kokomi and that worked out really well, and that is also taking inspiration from some of my favourite artists like Kira Bunny, because I really like how Kira Bunny does her eyes, and I kind of wanted to not imitate, not like copy that, but take some of that element and make it into my own kind of style. And in the end, this did work out really well, because I didn't kind of like how his canon eyes look, like how dark they were, so I kind of went for like a lighter blue, and it doesn't change his character to the point where he's unrecognizable, but it kind of makes him look a bit more like how I would want him to look like in my artwork. And since it's my artwork, I can basically do what I want with it, because sometimes I do add little headcanons into my artwork, like I gave Colette, I can't pronounce her name. I gave her a tan in my summer artwork because, one, because it was summer, and two, because I know a lot of people were unhappy about the fact that she was so pale when she was supposed to be based off of like a Middle Eastern kind of country. So I kind of got two things in one with that one, and luckily a lot of people did like it. I wasn't going to completely do like a race kind of bend thing, but I'm not going to get into like race politics, if you could call it that, because it's not something that I really want to talk about on this channel. But yeah, hopefully you guys like that artwork as well. But yeah, this artwork, it took me maybe about 14 hours in total. The footage that I do have is around about 2 hours and a half roundabout of footage that I actually did record, so it's a very small amount of my actual process. But I did do a built-in recording on Clip Studio Paint to show like the full process, but that's like a sped up thing. I might consider putting that at the end if any of you want to watch that, or I could just post it on shorts. And yeah, I might just post it on shorts so that I can get more watch time out of you guys. I'm joking, but it would probably organise it a little better. So the gloves that I'm working on at the moment, I kind of really struggled with what to do with them, because I didn't really understand where the shadow could be coming from with this. I knew that he needed a darker shadow where his fingers bent, because that's how he was holding the book, it was kind of bent, but I felt like it was lacking something, so I spent a while trying to work that out. But in the end, I think it came out alright. Not the best, but it was alright. The rest of the shading I was pretty much okay with. There wasn't actually that much shading to do. The most amount of shading that I spent my time doing was the hair, and the hair I actually did something different this time. I went and tried like a glossier style where I made the hair like kind of glossy, and I used the blend brush, which I usually don't use at all, and I actually found that it came out pretty well, so I'm probably going to use that in the future more. I do have a new concept for another drawing that I'm working on at the moment. I'm working on Hu Tao, and I did the rough draft yesterday. I am excited about doing that one because I am doing a redraw for that one, so I'll probably make a video about my process of the redraw for that one. I probably won't film more of it again, film all of it, because I don't like recording myself drawing, and I know that sounds weird, but I got so used to not showing my process that I just don't really like recording it, because it feels like someone's watching you, and I'm sure if you've ever tried recording your artwork for the first time, then you probably understand that feeling. But Honestly, I really like the colours that I used during this. I went for mostly blues for the highlights. I also wanted to incorporate warm colours into his hair because if you know anything about colour theory, a way to make your work stand out is to use complementary. Sorry, I don't remember the terms. This is really bad if I'm supposed to be teaching colour theory. Using opposite colours because they make the work pop and it makes it stand out. And I do have a video on colour theory where I used a script so that I remembered absolutely everything. So if you need a quick lesson in colour theory, there's that. There's also the short that I put up yesterday about colour theory, which you can always check out, which didn't get that many views as of current, but it could gain more because sometimes shorts does this thing where it doesn't give me like any views until like 2 days later, and I don't understand why, because a lot of other sites I use, the prime time is the first 24 hours, but YouTube has to be different. And now I'm working on the quill that is on his booklet that came out of his book. I don't know what it is. It's like part of his skill or something. I kind of wanted to mimic the official art because I wasn't going for something like insane with this drawing. I was going for something kind of basic. And I decided that I would do the line art on that second because I didn't know whether I was going to just paint it or whether I was going to do line art, and I ended up doing line art over it, but it's not like massively visible. It just kind of stops it from blending into the background so that you have that kind of element of separation. The background was something that I was worrying about a lot because I didn't really have any kind of clue of what to do, so I just kind of mimicked the art that you can see in my reference there, because there really wasn't much to do. So I kind of did what I did with Mona. But there's not much more to talk about in terms of the art, so I'll talk a little bit about Genshin. So have any of you been pulling for anyone recently? If you play Genshin, how have you been finding the new update? Personally, I originally didn't like the new update when I first saw the teasers of it because I didn't like the clown theme of it, but I actually really, well, what I thought was a clown theme, it kind of is, it's kind of like a jester kind of theme going on, which is a build up to Fontaine. I originally didn't like it because I wanted the golden apple again, but I've actually really loved this, and the amount of primo gems I've got from it is insane. And if you know anything about me personally, I am saving for Navia, one of the new Fontaine characters that is coming up, and I cannot wait for her. This sounds mental, but I am going to try and C6 her because I love her design so much. I'm also going for Focalors because I'm a Hydro collector, so Fontaine is going to absolutely ravage me in terms of money. Not that I can really afford to even spend anything, but I am going to be playing constantly to try and afford all these characters. I have every single Hydro unit in the game, and I'm not stopping that. I'm continuing getting them, even if I don't like the character, I'm going to collect them. But luckily so far I do like basically every single Hydro except for maybe Xingqiu. Sorry to anyone who's Chinese, I am really sorry, I am butchering your cultural names. Other than that, I do enjoy like all of the Hydro characters. I got Candice the other day, which was on standard, and I was surprised about that because I was thinking in my head, oh, is this finally going to be my Candice? Like, as a joke, I was like, it's going to be my Candice. And then she appeared in front of my eyes, and I was like, hello? But yeah, that was just luck. My account, for some reason, is really lucky, and I've been lucky the fact that it's lucky. And other than that, recently, I've just been spending a lot of time on my social medias. So my Instagram's kind of going downhill again, but you always have that phase where your account goes downhill and then it starts gaining a bunch and then it goes downhill again. So I don't even know why I panic half the time. I also just finished working at a primary school. I've been doing nursery and reception, and if you don't know what that is ages 3 to 5 years old. One of them only just turned 3 very recently, I think like a week ago or so. So they're very, very young children, and I obviously cannot speak anything about anything they've said, anything about their identities, because they are children and they are tiny children, and that would be a complete safeguarding issue. But I will say that if you are someone who has children, I commend you, and if you're someone who is thinking about having a child, it is more than babies. You've got to look past that. You've got to look past the fact that you're going to have a cute little baby and the fact that they are a lot of work, and you do have to keep on top of them, and you also have to keep on top of the manners, because otherwise they start forgetting to use them. They become demanding. They also can use a lot of guilt tripping to get you on their side, sort of thing. That's just a bit of a warning to anyone that's thinking of becoming a parent at any point. Me as a 16-year-old, I definitely won't be having children soon, as much as the children were asking me if I had kids myself. No, not for a long time, but other than that, they were lovely, and I did have a great time with them. Like I said, I can't go into any specifics because it's safeguarding, but there were a few in particular that stood out to me and that I had quite a nice time with, and they've made me feel welcomed, and I would probably do it again if I needed to do more volunteer work, and that's just volunteer work that I've done to build up a CV to go to work, because I need to get a job soon, and I want a job, so hopefully I'll be able to get a job. I've been rejected so far, but we'll see how it goes. So still on screen, I am still working on the quill. So there wasn't much to say about this other than the fact that I was just imitating whatever I was doing on screen, and there's not much more than that, so I might as well just go off and talk more about my life, because maybe you guys will like that. You should tell me like topics I should speak about in these draw with me's, because I do want these to be entertaining, and I do want them to be able to be digested in like a audio kind of form, because I really don't know how to structure these, and I have watched some draw with me kind of YouTubers, and as much as I do want to be like them, I also want to have like my own individual kind of style. I want to talk over every single second of it because I don't want to bore you, and I am warning you that this is completely off script, so if you think I'm jumping from one thing to another, it's because I am completely off script. I'm just rambling off the top of my head, and it's something I've actually become quite good at. I am going to college soon, like that, just saying that, I am going to college soon, and I'm really praying for my results, because I need a 5 in maths, and if you don't understand the UK school education system, a 5 in maths is like a high pass, a 4 is like your basis pass. If you get a 4, you just about scraped a pass in that subject. If you get a 5, then you're quite secure in it, so colleges like you to have 5s so that they can put you on their course, because then they know that you're more than likely going to be guaranteed to come out with a good result at the end of the 2 years of the college that you go to. And I want to go to quite a good school, quite a good college, but the chances of me actually getting into that college is quite low based off of what I think I might get for my results. Not that I didn't try, I am very not so much academic in terms of my maths and science, and that's the major letdown. If I was good at those, I would have been guaranteed a place like instantly. I have already been accepted to both colleges that I have submitted to go to, but the one is going to be significantly harder to get in than the other, because the one is, they don't do exceptions, they don't do negotiations, but the other one does, because the less prestigious, I guess you could say, but I only want to go to the prestigious one because I just prefer the vibe more. I got a bad feeling about the other college that I went to, but hopefully that will all work out for me, so wish me luck in the comments. Hopefully I should come out with another video soon in the future, another speed paint. You can see me finishing off the details in the background now. But yeah, this was a lot of fun actually, and I actually enjoyed rambling, but I would like to have like a concrete topic that I could speak about, so maybe you guys could get to know me more. I could do a Q&A, so like always ask me questions in the comments below. I'd love to do a Q&A, ask me anything in the comments below, and that could be my next video if I get enough questions. If I don't get enough on YouTube, I will be asking on Instagram, because I usually don't get many responses from YouTube. You guys just aren't very responsive. But yeah, this has been quite a lot of fun, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!